Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Auzom Premier League. It is Lobby 1, and we are live once again with the bird in the air. I'm Lee Man Smith, and joining me once again is Papa Boogie for this one, and it's a plane that's going to cut straight over Pachinki up towards the east side of Stalba. Again, fairly central for most teams, and going to give them a decent chance of winning.
Indeed, the Eastern teams are going to be a bit more affected by this one. Of course, the Knights should be okay, TSM should be okay, but then again, when we're talking about FaZe and Vitality, they might be going for a Gigo's Force to try and make their way to their normal looting grounds. We'll see how that one pans down. But yes, thank you, Lee. It's a great day for PUBG, man, and we've started off with a fantastic first match. I can't wait to see what this one picks up. And of course, to the viewers at home, do remember that these teams are playing for a chance to battle it in the finals, which are going to be happening tomorrow and on Sunday as well. So 2 days of finals, 4 matches every single day from each region, so 8 matches in total per day, brought to you by Auzom. Tomorrow there's going to be the Streaming Invitational. Next week it's going to be the GLL finals. Man, it's a ton of great PUBG that we're blessed with this month.
Yeah, it is all accumulating into an epic finish, I think. And then obviously starting fresh with all the new tournaments that are going to go on. Here we go. This is what we're expecting. FaZe, Vitality, and Penta all kind of landing at the same place. Sorry, Hagseti, Shiv has already took that buggy, and off you go. And this was the only issue really with this. I'm interested. So FaZe have adjusted a couple of times for this, and they've kind of started dropping more northerly up towards the western side of school. Clearly chose not to do that. Knights did do it this time, mainly because they were clashing with Team Liquid, who were obviously going for that way. Well, Team Liquid aren't in the lobby, so they didn't need to worry about that. So it interested me that they went this way, because every time I've seen them go in and around here, they've had problems. Yempty, he's just got to hang in the air a little bit longer and dodge left and right. He's got the buggy on him. Nobody's got a weapon though, so he should be should be fine, and they're going to go off and about their business. Now, the problem is, FaZe, of course, have to pass Vitality, who are going to be in Milton first.
Indeed, that is correct. Perhaps they could take the northern side approach. But then again, considering this particular circle, FaZe are going to be in a doozy. Let's see if they decide to go to their normal looting grounds, or Yempty is going to be looting the trash onto farm and then grouping up with his teammates. They could go for Lepovka, but potentially Lepovka could be taken by the Knights, who are now grouping up and seem to go towards that direction nonetheless. Now, Knights don't necessarily all the time take Lepovka. They would much rather take vehicles out of it. So let's see if FaZe's looting grounds are going to be affected by that one. Now, Mixie and the Empty left behind by FaZe. But let's have a look somewhere else on the map. It does look like most of the teams have made their way into their normal looting grounds. And it seems to be quite okay as well for Espo, who are looting now into Gatka. And, well, they're going to be, they're not going to be the happiest with that one there. But then again, Espo aren't used to looting that particular spot, so it's not going to be that hard for them. Of course, their normal looting grounds would be farm, but this time around they know that farm is going to be challenged, so they refuse to go there themselves.
Yeah, something we didn't mention about TSM, obviously back in Yasnaya. They bounce between North Georgia Pol and Yasnaya of late. It tends to be their thing, so they're happy with Yasnaya after I wouldn't say a decent performance in the last game, but unfortunately it plumbed them into 11th place, despite the fact they were doing well. They had that big fight with FaZe. Copper Magic off on his way. The new boys of Penta, formerly of Exalt, they were posting decent results, I would say. Actually, up until the last couple of weeks, they've probably had this is probably their bad patch, where they've ironically been picked up by Penta. Previous to that, you think of the early days of GLL of Auzom.
They barely missed GLL. That's so unfortunate for them. They barely missed. They were 9th, if you remember. The Knights got up in front of them. They barely missed it with like 100 points.
They didn't.
Yeah, that's it. Didn't happen then. But then again, they're a team that aren't necessarily that consistent at this moment in time. They're still finding their normal, their strat, their pace, their method of playing. They did get saved in this one, though. They had the 3rd place, I think, in week number 2 in APL. So that's what brought them into this particular lobby right now, with a very good chance to go into the finals as well. Let's see if it does happen or not for them. Of course, they are on the 10th place at this moment in time, so they're in there. I'd say they're in there.
The beautiful Yasnaya, massive city, and generally only one team ever goes there. There's Rory in the distance. Was sadly the first man to go down for TSM in the last rounds. Smack off on his journeys to scout out where we can find with this fairly northerly circle. It will certainly shift. The majority of the teams, I would say, will go to the northern side of the river. There is few and far between compounds to be found up there, which is where Smack is off on his journey into the sunset. Very cinematic from Skyline. And he may actually find this crate on his way.
Let's see what contains it. Let's see if Skyline catches it in the air. He will be indeed. And that's an AWM with an 8-time scope and a suppressor and a level 3 helmet to enable you to peek aggressively with the AWM. Fantastic crate drop here. And Smack should be well visible, or sorry, should be well able to see it. It kind of looks like he's hovering around that area there. Is he? Oh, he's not that interested though. He's going somewhere else completely differently. But considering that the crate drop is somewhere where it's not a looting ground, he should, by all means and purposes, go for it. Doesn't look like he's too interested though. Oh, you know where he's going to go? Just where Kent is on his way from Lumber Mill right now.
Yeah.
That's a very powerful compound there. If Smack would get there, it would be insane. This might be a bit of a battle though, because Kent is in the open. He's going to take the shots.
Is how much loot they got. 4 people in Severny can be very tight for loot. Normally, someone spreads over shooting range. I didn't see. Yeah, Gustav was over there. So Kane's going to be the first man. Okay, he's going for warehouse. So that's fine. Smack will set himself up. It's a decent warehouse, decent compound, has a good aerial visibility or around the whole area of it. Decent couple of ridges as well. So really nice compound. But probably reported to his team that the crate was there. Looks like MPR is going to take a route that was more direct to it. He will have good vision all around him. We'll see whether he passes on by or whether he goes for it. Method, of course, start out in Pajinki going up towards the edge there of Watertown, where they may well clash with one once again. MPR also missing out, so nobody wants that crate. It's such a good crate, Boogie.
It's insanely good indeed, especially with these pros here. Let's see though. Andy does seem to be approaching Niels, who's on the other side, of course. Team 1 could be soon finding themselves in a very bad spot. It does look like the lineup of Method have grouped up themselves. Now, Niels knows that there's a team to his north, and it does look like they know of his position as well. It looks like Andy is peeking in quite aggressively. Niels could go for the shot here, but he's being very patient instead, and now he finally decides to shoot, and that shoot turns into a knockout, and the knockout turns into a frag. But then again, Stab is going to be quick on the refrag himself. It does look like Method are going to be pushing in and trying to find more. But this could be potentially a good moment for them to get out of this battle. As Andy, well, he's out of the picture.
Chris just changed accounts. He's now Method Chris. That was not on his tag a moment ago. Oh my God! An unveiling live on auzom, the Premier League Lobby 1. And yeah, he wasn't tagged up a moment ago, but now he is. Larry, though, is about to get in a high position to try and get a peek on these on the bridge, and he's very open if they go across the bridge here. So Larry will have a very clean shot on them. As Andy, but we talked about this, right? This is what we mentioned in game 1. Andy goes down. He tends to sometimes go down early. This time wasn't really his fault. Just got picked off by a bush Wookie. And
well,
that means, how does the rest of the team develop now with Andy gone?
Well, that's, as we said in the first part there, their normal way of playing Team Method is around Andy's insanely fragging prowess. And with him out of the picture, they're going to have to play a normal 3-man game, which isn't that different from a 4-man game. But then again, you're going to have to really pick your battles and try to go for placements. And late games start firing off whenever you can. But with them being at the closer edge of the circle, they might have a harder time rotating in to their north side. We'll see if that happens or not. In the meantime, it does look like Rory from TSM indeed has picked up that crate, but he's going to be quite happy with it as well. Now, Smack, earlier on in his rotation, he didn't push all the way to Kent, and that is smart. They knew that Lumber Mill are playing. They knew that Lumber Mill normally go to Severny, and they knew that they normally go south when this circle appears. So very, very smart from Smack, actually. I want to point this one out. I want to give him kudos for actually not going as far as he went, whether or not it was his teammates calling out or whether it was his own mind. I think it was the latter, but yeah, very, very smart decision by him, and it looks like he's going to avoid death. Yeah, is DC going to avoid death, though?
Oh, Fausto just flipping the buggy there just at the end. He's going to get out of there. Okay. Let's see.
He's known to be a spicy lad, so there you
go. He's going to be going looking for either the compound over there, the UAZ, or maybe in that little bunk, that little the shack. No, it's going to be the UAZ. There we go. Just fancy a better car. Don't blame him. Oh, he took a big hit, and now he's thinking, oh, this maybe was not a good idea. Thinking he was pretty safe. Probably thought he'd rotated early, but realizing no. Do not want that UAZ anymore. He's going to get the hell out of Dodge and rejoin his team. The rest of his teammates down south. So Digital Chaos gone for a pretty big spread here. Fausto in the shack.
Fausto in the shack, ready to get Glack. He's actually in a very good point. You know who loves to play this spot right here is actually Team Kinguin. They love to play that position. Now DC don't necessarily have the best of splits, and that's because some of them don't see the positions of the others. But then again, Fausto tried to go for that spot there. Perhaps Ewan wanted to join with him as well. Seems to be a bit of a miscommunication issue, nonetheless. We're having a look somewhere else, though. It does seem like there could be a potential battle as Hayes from the Plumbers could be pushed in by the Diamond Dogs. Let's see if this occurs or not, though Hayes is now quite passive where he is. As Tommy is the first one to the battle, and it does look like they know of his position. They're playing this one quite passively here, D-Man.
Yeah, he's trying to get an angle, but he's going to have to get a lot closer to find the angle here, I think, Tommy's got that Kar 98 at his back, but doesn't feel like trying to scope up and have a peek. Instead, he's just going to hold on and wait for this. The Plumbers took a slow approach. They were going all the way along the west coast, almost Tempo Storm style, the way they've looted away. Trying to get away from there. But now, can he join his teammates? Or will the Diamond Dogs allow him?
Looks like he's going to have to stand up and face the music. And the music sometimes goes on for longer than you want to, which seems to be the case for Hayes right here. It does look like he has the support of his teammates, but with the blue starting to nip in, this could be potentially the end of the battle. No, it's not. Hayes does get knocked out by Ultrastar. Let's see if Ultrastar are going to be able to find much more. No, they're going to leave Hayes behind, and that's a nice injection of loot that these lads right here from Diamond Dogs are going to be quite happy to get.
So off he goes into the distance. Anonymous lives to fight another day. The Diamond Dogs. Ooh, Avengers still coming over the bridge, you know. Avenger was still coming over the bridge. Alliance get themselves in there. They've managed to knock a rock save. So Vitality rotations kicking their butts as always. Avenger is taking a bunch of shots from the Diamond Dogs, and Digger's turned around on the bridge. He's like, nope, do not want. Going back the other way. He's like, no, we're going through crates, boys. We're going through crates.
Normally, the way FCS Bowl actually went the first time is, well, normally is the safest route from South George to North George, because the other bridges are usually much more open. They're much more prone to getting dinked down from the death compound, as we call it, to the easternmost bridge from those three. But yeah, normally it would have been good. This time around, though, they've heard the shots and they decided to bail out, and that's the smart decision. In the meantime, though, Alliance will make neighbors with Rogue, but Rogue don't necessarily seem to want that, as they're heading out of their current position, trying to find themselves a better place. Perhaps they're going to take the 3-stack. It does look like Ewan is stopping by that one. Yes, indeed. They will be taking a very, very good position themselves, whilst Vitality, as you said it, with Araxi out, still having some issues with their rotations. But look at the Knights. They lose Krama. Is there drama, though? It looks like Voxy could get the res on him.
Yeah, Voxy's going to get back up there.
Oh, he fell off the bike.
Is it just the bike? I think it was the bike.
Yeah, there was a bike rolling down. It doesn't look like there's anybody close. You know, stuff happens. There you go. There's the bike who.
Fat fingers. Yeah. Aren't they? They on boot camp together? Knights as well.
They are, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
They're in Bucharest right now, where it should be easy to play because of that great Romanian internet, man. 1 gigabyte as standard in Romania for about, let's say, £10 a month. D-man.
God, that's sickening. Being living in Germany, I'm paying. Oh my God, that's just sickening.
Yeah,
Veezy's moving up on this one. Yannick gonna try and get the res. He does on Fuffers, but instantly pays the price. Gets picked apart, but Veezy goes down. It ain't easy being Veezy, and this time he is down and out. And it's the boys from down low, Digital Chaos, picking up the kill. Sims on his trial, working well.
Yes, indeed. They've hid those UAZs perfectly so that their enemies wouldn't know of that position. And when VZ's push on the side there against Rogue, it would have been actually very, very good for Alliance to get both the compounds and the hill that they're on. But still, as 3 men on the hill that they're currently playing from, it's actually a very good place to be as well, particularly if they would have some vehicles. It does look like a res will happen for Rogue in the meantime, so Rogue are not going to be too bothered by the situation. But then again, Alliance are going to have to find themselves a new place to fight, now knowing that Digital Chaos is to their northeast as well. Rogue, it looks like AONGG wants to make his way through as well, perhaps trying to save his team's teammates as they would cross back to his position. We'll see what works out for them here.
The inevitable clash of the late rotations, FaZe and the Knights coming together. Knights have lost 1 to FaZe in their rotate. FaZe have just lost 1 themselves, just got a big knock on. Didn't see who it was that went down there. Voxic comes around. And I think Survivor was knocked. Was he? No, he's okay down the bottom. I can see him in the mini-map. So he's okay. So FaZe still with 4. Knights with just the 2. It's Hacksetti that was downed. He's back up. And FaZe in the shack. This is actually a standard FaZe split. And Knights like to go that exact same location. Back over to Alliance, though. Rogue blasting away. And look at you, and he's up on high. He's going to go for a cheeky peek over the top of that building and see if he can land some shots.
It doesn't seem to be the case, and of course with Meter getting him dinked down as hard as he did, it's not going to be a battle that Alliance would afford to take on, especially after they've lost their 4th at the hands of Digital Chaos. So they're going to stick around to their same old spot there. Of course, Knights are going to be left off by FaZe, who now decide to get a different compound, which is actually a very powerful compound, but it might not be included in the next circle. They're just going to stop by there, met up, and think about the next place to go to. In the meantime, you can see on the very south side, you see another squad trying to make their way in, looking for Org, with an attempt to look for a spot in the next fight. Is there anybody left from Method though? I think Method got wiped. It does seem to be the case here. No, they don't know. They're smack dab in the middle. Yes, smack dab in the middle of the circle. That's actually very good, because from that spot that they're in right now, it's an easy rotate to wherever you want to go. Never mind. Never mind.
Perfect.
They're going to be there for the whole freaking game.
Yempty's just took a hell of a beating from the boys in Knights, and he's bailed out the vehicle, so I don't know whether the vehicle's maybe in trouble, but either way, the rotates are going to have to come in. We saw Rogue earlier on. There's the Digital Chaos guys. I was about to say Diamond Dogs, since his whole team, but it's Digital Chaos. They're on the move, looking to try and get themselves a better position in the circle. They're already in the circle right now, but they're going to go move up and join Ewan, who's been in this little yellow shack for a long time. FaZe on the rotate, Knights on the rotate. They're all coming towards both Rogue and Alliance, so really don't know where they're going to go here.
Yes, indeed. It's going to be a battle that's about to start off soon, and there you go. Shots back and forth. Nobody knocked out just yet, but that nade is a bit short. It does look like Dinger Robs wants to begin from the left side. There's another nade coming in here. Gustav has to reposition, and that he does indeed. Trifoli and Gustav holding on to the same spot. Wookie Boogie could come in with a very good side flank, and that's exactly what he's thinking of right here. A smoke will be deployed in the meantime. Dinger Rob is going to be beaking on the side of it, an attempt to flank of his own. And that means that Wookie has to be quite fast in this one. Erky gets himself knocked out and taken as well. Trifoli, and that might be his chance to make a move in here. Uncharged spots Kane in the meantime here, takes the shots at him, but does not connect. Uncharged has to reposition as he takes now heavy damage, half life left on him, and Kane is still trying to connect with Wookie. This might be the end of Zuktan now.
Yeah, really nice flank here from the boys from Lumbermill. Minifridge Jr. having to back away from this one. Kane going to try and track his
the potato
run. Gets about, Tripoli gets Dingleraps down on the side as well. And Uncharged now all left alone, I think. Did they get Minifridge? They did. Yep. Uncharged is all alone on the edge of the smoke, trying to hold the angle. He got Gustav down, but it doesn't matter. He gets dropped. Tripoli doing beautifully in that one. And that will be Zuktan going down in 16th. FaZe, meanwhile, they took a beating. Look, they tried to push on Rogue. Look, they're on top of each other at the moment. Over here on the left-hand side, we have the Diamond Dogs and, well, surprise, surprise, the Plumbers, who basically were facing each other early on in Georgia Bowl.
Yes, indeed. The Plumbers are in dire need of points, so they cannot afford to go down this early into the game. They've already gone down early into the previous one, so as much as they can stay alive, they would be very, very happy to do it, which is why they decide to leave that fight. So that's a smart call on them right now. In the meantime, Yannick, and it does look like Owen as well, quite close to FaZe, so 2 members of FaZe as well. Yempty is quite far away from them. No, it's 3. Is it 3? No, it's 2 members from FaZe. Jazza there as well. This could be potentially devastating for FaZe.
Yempty's in a good spot, though, off in the distance there. Stops anyone going up on high. And trying to maybe go for a flank. Of course, don't forget Alliance have been there the whole time. So they're watching this whole play out. So FaZe somehow managed to get in this compound, probably while Rogue and Alliance were facing off against each other, actually. And I didn't see where the Knights went. Remember, they were all rotating in the same direction. Also, Digital Chaos are just off the distance. There's the Knights. They're taking actually shots from across the river. The boys down low from LFO taking the pot shots. Meanwhile, Penta, they've got up close and personal with 1. Brexico's managed to get himself in there. So a lot of close engagements, it seems to be happening. TSM have posted themselves freely in the north, though. But it's Rogue and FaZe that we're keeping our eye on right now.
Yes, we are indeed, and it does look like they've made unlikely friends, unlikely neighbors for the moment, at least until the next circle reveals itself. In the meantime, Lumbermill will be taking some shots at TSM, but this is most likely not going to be a battle. But look at this one here. Pentasport's quite close, it seems, here to Team 1. Well, Brexo pushed in quite far away, and he's just waiting for the support of his teammates to potentially mount a push and a siege. Let's see if that one pans out. In the meantime, Vitality's sticking around to the same old compound that they're in. They're in a good spot. They don't need to move out anywhere. And the next circle about to reveal itself, and it's going to be quite good for Team Vitality here.
Yeah, they've been there for a long time, but I do believe there's only 2 members. There may be 3. There's 3. Shiv's still in there as well, because they lost 1 on the rotate earlier. I remember very early on. Vox trying to take a move off to the side. Going to have to lead him very well with the Car 98 to land them shots on those 2-seater bikes. And Evil Knievel's dives into the water. Kramer and Voxic trying to swim their way into zone. Yannick is down. Mexi with the nade. Already managed to land the shots. That should finish Yannick off there. It will.
Oh.
And the UAZ to boot. It leaves it down to Rogue with just Jazza and Ewan, who are now being pushed by FaZe.
Yes, indeed, with some good shots come back, and Mixie now dink down heavily. This stops them the potential siege that they were mounting there. Of course, you know, and Jazza still holding on to the same old spot there. The circle is not going to contain any of these 2 teams, so they either have to fight this one off or leave this battle. Rogue, with that UAZ being blown out, have lesser chances of getting in. Of course, with another team to their south alliance, that makes things that much harder. Of course, the Yempty coming in from a different perspective. He's going to be spotted by Jazza though, so Jazza's going to try and go for a more defensive approach. As he goes in, he loses some HP, and that's the moment where FaZe should push in, and that's what they do indeed. Fuzzface now on the side of the house, whilst his teammate is to the north, trying to see if they can find off any kind of fracture. Makes you on a very good angle to try and catch off the last from Rogue that could potentially exit here, but those nades keep raining in one after another. None of them seem to go inside though. There's one in, there's one out. That's a doozy. Empty as well coming to play. This is disaster for Rogue. At least they have a choke point.
It's a tough house to siege as well. These are really strong houses. A lot of angles. Jazz has managed to find himself out there. He's took Yempty down as well. Fuzzface coming around the back. He's instead going to try and push in. Doesn't realize that Rogue. They've got Jazz around the side here. He's got this little shed he's inside at the moment. There's no way out other than that single door. And now Rogue are both going out. The blue is on their backs, remember. It will be pushing and closing on them ever so quietly. Mexi down in the distance. Fuzzface in this one-man stance. He is, of course, the champion of the solos. So he's certainly capable. Gets himself one. Looks towards Ewan. Mexi will surely report his position there.
Yes, he will.
Absolutely, we'll see him. And Fuzzface looking for a peek, looking for an angle. Can't manage to find him, though. And Ewan, in the end, it's just going to take this into one way. I mean, either way, neither of these teams are winners here. And Mexi will be taken down. It's a one-on-one.
Yes, indeed it is. And that's quite surprising for FaZe to say, indeed. Both of these games going down a bit early, unless Fuzzface here can pull off a miracle. But here's the thing. FaZe are so consistently good that I think only 1 week from the whole weeks that they've played in auzom APL, in the second season, they finished third. Rest of them have finished first every single time. Fuzzface, though, look at that long drop from this guy here. He's going to go for, well, you called it Evil Knievel moves. Going to go straight into the water. That's the only thing that he can do at this moment in time. But, of course, next circle might completely be outside of his current grounds. However, look at the Plumbers taking a fight with TSM, and it looks like they're coming out worse for wear.
Yeah, Avenger looks like he's the last man standing, it seems. Can't see too many other members of the Plumbers up there. TSM seemingly pushed in nicely. Break, belly crawling in. Can Avenger go huge here against TSM? Remember, Rory picked up that big AWM early on, along with the tier 3 helmet. The massive pack, the circle updates. It goes to Vitality once again. And Method, it should be said, have been in there this entire time. Stab and Chris looking in good position at the moment. Don't see where 8C is actually, so maybe they lost him in one of the rotates. Andy, of course, going down on the bridge earlier on. And Ewan, of course, who stayed where he was, is in the circle again.
Happy days for him indeed. Yes, Method had to push in just a bit south. Where TSM are right now is where Method used to be moments ago. But yeah, Avenger, look at him, how so close right now to the entire lineup of TSM. And what else can he say? But I don't know, perhaps go in the chat and make a copy paste. Do you mind if I get this copy paste? Because I love it here. Are you kidding me? That hunk of a man Break is an esports athlete? Unbelievable. He could be a Calvin Klein model. There you go. Before he gets the frag. Or a pro footballer with his physique. With a ripped physique like that. That is by far the hottest cyber sportsman to ever grace the esports industry. I'd let him smack his way through my cheeks any day. I'm
You see it every time. There's so many of them as well.
I love it.
They're amazing. They're amazing. Oh, gotta love the Twitch chat.
One of the best things about PUBG esports is the Twitch spam, dude. It's like the best of all esports. I love it. Anyway, let's get back into the game. Sorry, D-Man, I've completely derailed you.
That's fine. That's fine. The Diamond Dogs are making this uphill charge into Penta, seeing if they can rekindle some of that lost love from their organization and maybe try and prove someone right. The nade lands. Coppermatic goes down. Chronix and Udime fire. Pressured Brexico off to the side. Lux manages to deal the damage in the end. So 1-0 so far. Calvin Klein on a really good flank, actually, coming around the side there. Could run straight into Chronix, who is just hiding above the ridge there. They all have to move. The blue, of course, pushing on the back of them there. Mikaz also creeping in behind TSM as well, so keep your eye on that. TSM also trying to get involved in this fight as Method actually just got took down by Brexico, so why not? You know, you're in a fight with the Diamond Dogs. Why don't you just turn around and have a shot at Method at the same time? I don't know how that works.
Oh, look at Lux. He's got no idea which bush. Chronix actually fired off the shots on his teammate as well. It looks like he's going to be getting the res. Of course, Chronix has to play a passive game at this moment in time here. Won't get any chance to deal any kind of res to his teammate, but he does deal damage to his enemies, and now peeking outside of his bush, trying to find his enemies in the smoke, but they're not there. Well, surprise, surprise, Lux does the dirty deed there. Tommy has been picked up in the meantime here. It does look like it's just going to be a DRMA fire for Penta Sports, and it's starting to look a bit dire for them as well with TSM just on the other side. It's just APR actually on the other side that could potentially spell disaster for Penta Sports.
Yeah, Mikaz came in, took one down. I think it was Rory. The DMA fire, you're not going to get Brexico back up here, I don't think. Yeah, and that's going to cost you. That's what it takes. You know, sometimes you just got to give up on it. The circle swings. Vitality again. Stab still in that little shack. Ewan on the edge. And everybody that chose to plumb for the water has cost them their lives. Digital Chaos down there cleaned up, it seems, because you don't see FaZe, you don't see the Knights anymore. They're all gone. And now Vitality are in a grand position.
Yes, indeed. They do indeed. As we said at the start of the first game, they're a very good team at defending their territory. They're very, very good. They know how to split up. They know how to keep teams outside of the circle if they got the circle to themselves, and that's exactly what they're doing. They don't need to necessarily take on a lot of fights right now because it looks like the other teams are busy with that one in particular. And, well, you can see Foster here taking some long shots there. It does look like FC Espo, but those shots won't necessarily connect. It's more of a do not approach us type of warning shot. And yeah, they're going to have to make their way soon because they're at the edge of the circle. And with those smokes, that tells us that they indeed will try to make a mount, some sort of a push, because there's about 10 seconds left until they have to make that push. Now, Meter and Fever from Alliance as well are going to have to come in from the side. They could potentially get spotted by Vitality. But the fight that we're interested in is this one between Espo and Digital Chaos, because they're most likely going to be at it.
Yeah, I'm also just in Digital Chaos's position.
That
hill is quite open. Oh, aim, PR, what the heck? Did he just land in nade? He just wiped out the whole of the Diamond Dogs on the hillside there. So nicely played from TSM to get themselves into the top 7 and counting as APR. The in-game leader makes himself a crucial couple of kills there as he makes his way in. That's actually opened the door for him, right? He can get his way down here. Stabs in the bunker in there as far as I'm aware, so won't really be looking this way. I think he's behind the tree. Okay, no, I thought he was sat in the vehicle. He's sat in the dirty position. That's a dirty spot to be in, Stab. Dirty. But, oh, hello, FC Ispo just wiped out Digital Chaos at the same time. I was talking about that. Digital Chaos, that spot they got, it's so open, and Vitality now got 3 shots on them. APR going to try and blast his way in. It doesn't look like it's going to work, though.
No, it's not. Indeed, he tried a bit more than he could chew. Of course, he had a bit of a piece of the white, but he wanted to make a further push down, of course, because he didn't have necessarily that much cover. Now, look at Fever taking shots as well at Espo. It doesn't look like they're in a good position themselves, the Finnish lads. And, well, actually, it does look like Vitality ends it all for Alliance right here, giving Espo a second chance at life. But as soon as they peek past this little hill, they're going to be spotted clearly by the lineup of Vitality, or at least by Monkey, which will be indeed putting in those good shots. Let's see if he can keep them out. Stab in the meantime, still clutching for his team. Literally the same situation as last game. 4 teams left alive, Stab the last one standing, and they're all killing themselves, or sorry, killing each other, whilst Stab is just watching the whole freaking world burn. Nice one, Stab. You're a freaking legend tonight, dude.
Monkey has such a good angle, good position. I mean, he's in the open, but he can see so much. Yeah, like you say, Stab, that's the top 2 position right there. That is top 2, 100%. Unless the circle shifts completely away from FC Ispo. Now he has to move. Okay, he's got to move. FC Ispo go down. So it's just Ewan and Stab versus Vitality, who have obviously this game in the palm of their hands. It's down to really Ewan making the move and then Stab trying to get up. The question is, will Stab get up? We won't see certainly Ewan because Ewan's completely behind him, the other side of his vehicle. Ewan's the one that's going to make the longest distance, the longest run. He's just hoping that they kind of deal with themselves. Oh, man, he has an open run into Vitality. That is horrible.
And Stamp has been taking notes all this time. He knows exactly where Team Vitality are playing in from. He knows exactly where most of the fire would be coming in from him. So he could potentially take the north side of that little ridge he has and just prone in that way there as late as possible, which is exactly what he should be doing. But Ewan being at the very edge of this edge of the blue, he should be the first one being taken down, of course, because as he would have to move in, as you said it is so open. And the way he's going in south of this little fence right here, this could really, really be bad for him at this moment in time. So Stab could take the second spot. Let's see if that happens indeed or not. Whilst the Vitality aren't sure exactly where their enemies are, as you can see on the minimap, they're looking all the way around left and right just to make sure that nobody is coming in against them. And you know what? With the circle still on them, as you said it will be indeed a GG for them. Let's see if it happens.
Yeah, I think okay. He's on the move. He's on the move. Ewan's on the move. He's spotted, and that's going to be taken down.
Oh.
Behind the tree, but where's he going to go from there, right? He's still going to move, make all this distance. Now, Stab's hearing the shot, so Stab's off. Stab's immediately making the move. The second he hears these shots going down, so he knows he's in the second place. I mean, all he sees is 5 alive, right? He has no clue right now.
Exactly.
That's a good shot from Ewan, though. That's forced Shadow down, and that's going to give Ewan a chance to flank around. He will get picked off by Monkey, though, who was on the top of the other. And now Stab is seeing 4 alive. He doesn't know he's top 2 yet, so there's no reason for him to go Rambo style into these 3 members of Vitality. You'll certainly see the kill feed and see Vitality land in the shots, but he won't know whether they're all still standing. He has an inkling, he has an idea, and he's going to try and just creep his way in.
You could potentially consider the fact that Espo, well, not the fact, but the possibility of Espo still being into the game here. That's the only thing that could really see him on this very, very shy kind of peak. He doesn't know, of course, if there's 3 guys from Vitality, but there will be 3 guys from Vitality pushing him and killing him. And it looks like Monkey gets the GG and the chicken dinner for Team of Vitality, who were really good at keeping this compound here. Now, they had a hard rotate. They've lost their axis early on, but as soon as they got this compound, they held onto it with a deadly grip against anybody that dared come in. And that's a very good effort out of the guys from Vitality.
Yeah, 10 kill finish helps Vitality, picking them up all the kills in the end there. But we talked about Andy Pyro going down really early on for Method. They get themselves another second place in there, so very well played from them. Guys are keeping themselves consistent. This is almost FaZe-esque, the way they keep just keep about 1 guy alive the whole time. Rogue, again, another good finish for them, but again, not a lot of kills. They had, I think, 3 kills in the last game as well. Another 3 this time around. FC Ispo, good finish for them. 4th place with the 6 kills. Alliance down in 5th place. And then again, we were talking about it earlier. FaZe, obviously, in that big clash with Rogue, who finished 3rd. FaZe finished 13th place. So, game 2 in the books. 2 more to go. We have ourselves a decent night of action. And just to address a quick issue, I did see a couple of points in chat talking about the water circles, esports ready. It is now coded in there. As far as we're aware, according to patch notes could mean anything, but they've said it literally will move away from water. So if you see teams going in water, it's desperation moves, but the game will not finish there.
There you go. That's a very good point indeed. And hopefully we're going to be seeing those changes implemented as soon as possible. I'm really looking forward, man. It does look like with this latest update, they've really listened to what the community was, even more the pro community was moaning about, because I'm daring to use that word here. But yeah, there you go. You know what's good though? That we're definitely heading in the right direction, man. Slowly getting there. And I honestly don't like people when they compare PUBG with, let's say, the esports scene with the CSGO scene. That scene has had 18 years to develop now. So give it a bit of time, guys. We're definitely on the right track.
And most of these people, they weren't around when CSGO started. Trust me, I was. It was horrific. It was a horrible so experience. Bad, wasn't it? Yeah, it was so bad to start with. Anyway, guys, we're going to go to a break. That's game number 2 of 4 done. Number 3 will be coming up. It's all on Aragel tonight.